The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And here we are. It is officially Eagles Week here inside the SWBC podcast studio. Cowboys, Eagles, 4-1 versus 5-0, and the Cowboys are on the practice field right outside that door. Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola. You got your little Eagles packet there, and you're all fired up, aren't you, Mickey?
Yes, I may run out the door and watch a little bit too, by the way.
What would you watch if you ran out the door?
I would probably keep an eye on Dak Prescott.
Oh, because you think there's a chance.
No, there's no chance. And we can start right here after
right
we kind of did all the do-si-dos in the press conference, and Mike finally said at about 2 minutes and 30 seconds in, we're preparing for Cooper to start against the Eagles. I didn't know why there had to be more questions after that. I thought it was pretty definitive. He's not going to be the backup. He's not going to miraculously show up at the link and run out on the field when they introduce the starters.
The link?
The link.
The link.
Lincoln Financial Field, right?
Nice.
He is right now continuing to do the rehab we've watched him do for a couple weeks now. That means working on the resistance cords with lunges, high steps, side steps, and then eventually he'll do the drills that they do. They call it quarterback school. When the team is working on special team stuff, the quarterbacks usually are indoors, and they do different throwing drills, mostly target practice into a net where they have these 3 squares and you're supposed to hit whatever color they tell you to
So
hit.
is Dak going to do those throwing drills, or is he just doing light tossing at the end of practice?
Well, he said he would do some tossing at the end of practice to receivers.
Okay.
Not into the net.
Okay.
And so he'll do that, and we will go back to, I think, what we talked about yesterday. No one has asked if he can take a snap from center, and I would imagine the answer right now is no.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll see when he throws
And
lightly.
we're talking about a snap under center.
Under center,
Yes.
not shotgun. And then we'll find out maybe tomorrow if he was able to take a snap from center, because I still think that would be pretty dicey at this point.
I'd say that's the only thing that kind of, quells this whole matchup. Because when you hear Cowboys 4-1, Eagles 5-0,
You're not talking to the same people I'm hearing from.
Well,
The people I'm hearing from is Cooper Rush gives him a better chance of winning.
Oh, really? Do they? Well, I don't know who you're talking to.
No,
They're out
there
there.
are fans out there.
They're
There are
out
fans
there.
out there.
Let me tell you something.
And some of them are my friends.
If this would be, they still your friends. If this would
You
be,
need better friends.
Yeah, exactly. You need smarter friends. No, if you were to have a Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott matchup, that would have been like, the icing on the cake. But still, gonna be a good game because you're talking about our quality defense is probably more popular than our star-studded offense.
And
That's the first time we can say that, I think, in a long time around the Dallas Cowboy organization.
And to double down on what Bill said, and the Cowboys aren't playing games with this like, well, Cooper Rush is winning. We don't need to rush Dak back. You can't rush a fractured bone, okay? It's on its own timeline. And they're not sitting there going, well, we might not need him out there because, Cooper's winning games. When Dak's ready to go, he's playing football.
The only question would be, Is Dak going to be a backup this week?
No, I already told you that.
No.
No.
He can't.
That question was sort of posed to McCarthy at the press conference.
It was.
And he never did.
And the answer was
until
no.
today. Today is no.
Well, I think that's the first time somebody put it to him.
Right.
And it was a definitive no, by the way.
You're going back to the preseason. What was it on the Tyler Smith? It was about the guard situation. And who would be and Tyler Smith was nursing an injury.
Yes.
And
doing training camp.
Yeah, and if the season started today, who would be the starting left guard? And it was Connor McGovern. If it started today, well, Tyler Smith had an ankle injury at the time.
I think yesterday or the day before, they actually broached the subject like, hey, what are the thoughts of Tyler being back? Because I heard it on the sports stations, the radio stations, that hey, that would be kind of funny, if Dak. Yeah. And
can his status change, Mickey? Even as what Everson's posing
after light
today,
tossing.
Okay, today, right now, he is. They're planning on Cooper starting, okay, and that was before McCarthy has seen him any light tossing or anything. Well, as we go through the week, let's say we get to Saturday and Dak is feeling good and they like what they're seeing.
And he takes a
But
snap.
he hasn't taken the full reps with the first team, so it's understood that Cooper...
No. What if he's able to take a snap from under center before the game?
Yeah.
If
he goes out on the field at the length.
Now, wait a minute.
And takes a snap from center.
What did the X-ray say?
Survives it.
What did the X-ray say?
I haven't read them yet.
But we need the Spagnola check, man. Not the handshake, but we gotta do the handshake and we gotta go under center. What if that works by Saturday? Did we change the status? Don't we have time to change the status?
All we need is McCarthy to shake his hand and Mickey to snap a football to him.
There you go. Those two things.
Quit playing radio with me.
Not just the handshake, but we got to have the snap.
We got to give Mickey a football, too, to take when he sees Dak, and he can...
You just go
hey, come here. Give me a ball. Come here.
Listen to the press conference. Until we move through this phase we're in, meaning the medical phase, Mike McCarthy basically said, I can't answer when he's ready to play. So to me, it's at the earliest Detroit and maybe by Chicago. It's pretty simple. You can't rush it. I just wrote the line when I was writing. It's like, you can't rush or bribe Mother Nature, right? She'll tell you when he's ready to play, when the bone is completely healed. It was supposed to be.
Is there a gray area at all where Dak? I'm not talking about this week. I'm talking next week.
I think
doctors don't always know. You remember Jack Youngblood? You remember 1980 or was it 79? The Billy Waddy game. Going back to that.
He played with a broken leg.
Broken tib fib.
Tibia or fibula, one of the other.
It was both.
Yeah.
It was a combo. Come on, man. He played.
He didn't have to throw the ball.
Game.
Huh?
That was playoff game.
That was a playoff game.
And he didn't have to throw the ball.
He kicked our asses that game. He wasn't.
Well, that was
out there limping
with
around,
his broken
kicking
tibia.
our asses.
That was on you guys.
I wasn't
No,
playing.
he wasn't
I was
there.
in college.
He was at Grambling.
Yeah, I was in college, but I was so mad about that.
Those
game.
guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's no Jack Youngblood.
No, I don't see that happening. It's just he's got to be able to take a snap under center. He goes out there and fumbles the ball. And then what? Oh, I'm not putting him back out there. And then you wasted a whole week of practice.
I don't see us going past Detroit. I see him coming back for
Well,
Detroit.
we'll have a better idea of what we see today.
We're not going to be able to.
No, when he does the quarterback school stuff, because normally that takes place indoors.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna. He's not gonna be seen outdoors throwing the ball.
No, for some reason the net's out there.
So they're outdoors
that they throw
today.
to. It's outside. So everybody's going to see that.
When's that happening?
You don't need to know.
After they do the stretching. It might be happening right now.
Well, we need to take a break. Let's take an early break so Mickey can go out there. Take your cell phone.
Trust me.
Take your phone and get video of this.
It is not happening. There's no way Jerry's going to let somebody see that.
And Mick Shots continues in a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What do you call a group of grown men and women with their faces painted silver and blue who get together every week to share a 3-hour-long ritual of jumping, singing, and toasting Miller Lite in 10-gallon hats while yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You call it Miller Time in Dallas. Here's to the Cowboys. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
You gotta read.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. From corporate homes to your home, have your roof checked by choice, not by chance. Call now, 214-225-4860, kpostcompany.com.
All right, announce it, Bill.
Producer Supreme Chris Beam, do you have a breaking news sounder from the practice field?
Do we have a
No, I like that. That's great, Everson.
That's it.
All right, do that again, Everson. Breaking news from the Star in Frisco. Dak Prescott is on the practice field. We witnessed him taking a snap and throwing a football.
Yes.
Yes, he threw a football.
Where are the cheers?
Would you like to add to that story, Mickey?
He's ambidextrous. He threw the ball after he did his little steps through the pylons left-handed.
Left-handed every time, too.
So
even the
you know what?
What's that?
What is that?
That's you, man.
That's you.
This is important. This is you.
Somehow the
you hit the wrong button. You hit the wrong button.
Okay, on Mickey's phone, he's trying to figure out how to get video of Dak throwing left-handed on the practice field. He called up our show, and it was on delay right there.
He threw it better left-handed.
Man,
and
he can throw very well left-handed. I was impressed.
It was right on target, wasn't it?
He hit the net.
Yeah,
I was impressed.
That's the breaking news. Dak Prescott is going to be active, and he's going to throw left-handed in the game.
And the caveat also, he took 4.
Did he take it left-handed?
He took it with the right hand on top. That's what Nate said. He took 4 snaps, right hand on top.
Yeah,
now,
but it was,
no snaps from center, though.
It was handing him
no
the
snap.
ball.
It was a shotgun.
Biotis can do that and still block.
Like sideways,
yes,
like we
come
did
on,
in
like
flag football?
Come on, he hadn't forgotten that. Let's go, Biotis. Come on, man. You my dude.
Side saddle.
Side saddle, yeah.
There you go.
You can snap like that, can't you?
Yeah, you can, but you won't block with the crap. Yes, you could.
Get your clock knocked off.
Fletcher Cox.
Right, do that on Fletcher. Yeah, you see what happens. That was very exciting right there, guys.
And by the way, you do that sideways, as soon as you pick the ball up, he hits you.
Right, you got to do it from the ground. You can't pick it up and toss it. No, you have to do it from the ground. So,
yeah, but that takes too long. By the time you do all that, he's already hitting
Fletcher's
you.
already past you.
Yeah. All right.
That was exciting.
Should we get serious about this stuff?
I'm serious, man.
Okay.
We seriously gave him an update on Dak.
We did.
This is
very good one.
As it happens here at the Star in Frisco.
I'm very surprised that they actually had him outside throwing
left-handed.
with the media out there because, this is all just fodder.
It's one of two things. Either they, decided that, we don't need to cover this up. We'll show you the progress, or something's going on in the Ford Center.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there might be an event.
There's an event going on maybe at Ford Center.
Oh,
So
it was
they
forced outside.
had to move outside.
But they need to start putting up tarp or something so we can still hide things.
How are you going to hide it on an 8th-floor building?
Right. All the media's going to rush upstairs
That'll
and then
be,
look at it.
You know how those people, they advertise the big shade coming down at your house over the windows?
Right.
That'd be a hell of a shade.
That's what we need. We need the shade, yes.
That's why a lot of times I believe they practice indoors on Thursdays.
There are fans who would say, you don't need to install that here. There's another place you need to install that.
Right. Or you never know who's working at Dr. Pepper, right?
Never know.
Mm-hmm.
Never know. Well, you know what we did back in the day at Days Inn?
Yes, I do.
We had security up and down that place.
They rented out the rooms.
Yes. So
how many stories was that Days Inn?
Two.
We could have used the shade there. That would have been easy.
Tex bought out the rooms that are facing the practice field.
So he's not ready.
Yeah, there you go.
But it did look cool.
It looked good.
It was kind of cool.
And he's moving. Yeah. He started before, when you guys came in, he was doing his resistance cord work. You've got to have your legs ready.
Well, we're not concerned about his legs.
No.
Well, yes, you are.
But it was. I think it was kind of cool that we're out there. Everyone's waiting to see that moment because when I walked out there, I'm like, oh damn, he's out there. I'm like, they never show him to throw on the ball. Sure enough, I'm like, oh, he's gonna throw. Oh, no, he's not gonna.
Did you see Micah?
He was going to be limited.
More importantly, for this game this week, what about Micah?
Yes.
Limited and DeMarcus Lawrence limited, meaning they will do rehab and then they'll see where they're at. I would imagine he doesn't do anything today, neither of them, and maybe on a limited basis tomorrow when they put the pads on. And then there's just a walkthrough on Friday. Saturday's kind of a semi-official walkthrough. They do actually practice. But I would imagine their
Saturday's a Friday.
Velocity, yes, is get him to the game on Sunday. We don't need practice. Just make sure he has his conditioning and doing the rehab.
And so D-Law, that's a head thing. It's a head thing, right?
Yeah. It was. Yes, it was. But he didn't have a concussion. So he might have had something else because they were worried because they both hit each other.
Yes.
Edwards ended up with a concussion.
Yes.
Who was coming off a concussion, by the way.
And they put him on IR.
Yeah, already. So
smart. He's not going to have any of those problems.
And D-Law
problems.
came back in the game and played. So that was, I think, they were a little bit very concerned. I shouldn't say a little bit, very concerned when everybody went out there. To the point I wasn't sure when the golf cart went out with the stretcher, who they were taking care of.
Exactly.
And Lawrence, they're describing as a rib injury.
Rib, that's right. Yes, it was a rib.
And when you see this team defensively, let's say Michael Parsons does not play. Of course, we lose a dynamic on this team that no one has. But I still would have a lot of confidence in the depth of this defense.
Right.
It won't be nearly as dynamic. You can see the difference when Michael was not in the game. The pressure wasn't there as much, but there still was adequate pressure.
Speaking of pressure, who of the Cowboys' front seven provided the most pressure against the Rams? What player?
Odigizua.
That's exactly right.
I did not know that only from watching the game. He was balling. This kid was balling.
And remember, that's where they had their backups playing inside, right? Especially after Edwards went out.
Yes.
I can give you the list if you'd like.
Yes,
This
please.
is from Mickey's favorite site.
Well, then
We may be inaccurate.
Osa with 7 pressures, 26.9% of his snaps. D-Law 6, 22.2% of his snaps. Micah 6, 20%. Dante Fowler 4. Sam Williams 3. Carlos Watkins 3. And Dorrance Armstrong 2 for a total of 36 pressures.
So how do they?
I don't know how they.
No. My question is, are those just pressures and they're not hits? Because in the official defensive stats after the game, they have quarterback hits, and I know that.
Hurries and pressures, same thing, right?
No.
But
the Cowboys, when they count them on their stats, they count them together. Hits and pressures are one column. So, like last week, against Stafford, they had 11 quarterback hits. Now, I don't know who. I mean, I could look them up. Who got what?
But the pressure, it seems like it could contain not necessarily not hitting, but just right there,
and making him throw the ball early or
higher,
right? But a hit means you hit him just as he was throwing the ball, and God forbid if you hit him too hard, because then you're going to get a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah. I have a feeling we're going to have issues with that in this game.
That Mike McCarthy said he is in favor of reviewing any 15-yard penalty.
I like that.
Right? It's huge. And it could change the game.
And you don't have to stop the game necessarily.
Right.
I think what you do is the guy in the replay official, okay, on a 15-yard penalty, he has the option of stop and play without a challenge or anything. And so if there is a question on it, whatever, then he buzzes down and says, we need to review this one.
You know, we were joking yesterday about going to the quarterback and just wrapping him up and not knocking him to the ground. I went back and looked at the hit everybody was talking about.
On Brady or?
No, what was the other one?
It was in
Kansas City.
It was
right?
Chris Jones.
Yeah.
Versus Carr.
Yeah. He's coming from behind. So should he just wrapped him up and like this was professional wrestling?
And the ball was out.
I was going to say, then you lose the ability to grab the ball. So
right.
You grab him. And now you can't get it's too late because the play's over when you have a chance to actually get the football.
Chris Jones was trying to hold on to the football that he had cradled in his arm
as he lands on
top of.
So we have to bring out video of how we used to dance back in college, from behind and holding somebody. And don't knock them to the floor.
I never danced like that. I don't know what kind of dance y'all been to. What kind of dance you guys
are too young.
You did.
What kind of dance is that? Wow.
Well, wait a second.
So we're not going to pursue that.
Yeah. Right.
And then on the other one,
what
on
kind of
Brady,
policy did you guys have on your dances?
All he did was wrap him up and go to the ground with him.
I think they got some pregnancies in there. Those dances.
That's why there were at Baylor they didn't allow dancing on campus, right?
Well, not the way you guys dance. Jeez, I wouldn't either. Like my daughter's not going to that school.
No kidding.
I don't think it was at school.
Oh man.
So yeah, I saw. So anyway, McCarthy went to the point of saying all 15 yards, not just with the quarterbacks. Any 15-yard penalty they should review. He would be and I think Belichick said the same thing. And he said, "I agree."
He was every play should be
every play. Yeah. Why not?
I mean, that's the way college is. They
have someone designated.
Right. And on any play, they can, say, we need to review this.
So,
and actually, college has actually come around on it where it's better than what it used to be, where they quickly resolve matters.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then this was on the walk-off, and it quickly digressed to him challenging the catch. And he basically said, because they were doing all the huddling up and talking, he said, I got a chance to see the replay up on the board 3 times. And he said, then he had a discussion with the head referee, and his question was, what's the rule? And he said the official gave him the rule, basically read it to him, and he said, well, if that's the case, then I'm throwing the flag.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. So the official is there an obligation for the official?
I don't
to
know, but
explain
that's
the
what
rule
he
to
said.
A coach?
That's what he said. What's the rule? And it was 2 steps and possession.
I think that's fair. You're going to make the call, then know what you're calling.
Yeah, but you don't have to. But the coach is making the call on whether to challenge or not, and so you shouldn't. The official shouldn't have to explain the rules.
Yes, that's what he's there for. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he should know that. Right.
And it was the.
He better know and he better answer it correctly too. I mean, that's why you're out there.
Because when they explained it, it said after the catch you have to make a common move to football. And my answer to it was no, he made an uncommon move to football because no one has the ability to take 2 steps and the wherewithal to dive for the end zone.
Yes.
Right? The football move was.
And every athlete will tell you that.
Right.
I know, at least every athlete. You're not an athlete, you still know that because you've seen enough athletes do it.
And McCarthy admitted, he goes, and it was a credible move.
Yes, it was.
But that's not what the letter of the law
Actually, it should have been a
It should have
touchdown.
been. Well, somebody said, well, it should have been because I would have been okay. It would have been better if they marked it at the 1 or 2 yard line.
But it really would have been a touchdown.
Because then you could have messed around and drained the clock, right?
It's a touchdown.
And McCarthy said, as he walked off, he goes, yeah, but you know what? I had a pretty good 4-minute plan because that's how much time would have been left if it was a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But if they marked it at the 1, which I thought that's what they were going to do, you could have messed around.
Cut into that 4-minute plan.
Or at least run the clock down and then, run your play to try to, see if you can gain 1 yard. Yeah,
because Aaron Rodgers has never gone in 2 minutes the length of the field or half the length of the field for a game-winning field goal.
But he didn't do it. He didn't do it this last game.
Never does that.
He didn't do it this last game.
He sure didn't. I was surprised at that, too, because I could put that totally on him. First of all, the first pass, I didn't think that had a chance. It could have been picked off.
Right.
And the second one, he threw it so low, it hit the guy in the face.
Yeah.
And that's, there was no avenue there. Usually he can find that avenue in between the linemen. And that one hit, what's the guy's name? It's the first rounder. Hit him in the face for the Giants' first round draft pick, the defensive lineman.
Oh, Thibodeau.
Yeah. Thibodeau in the face. Yeah.
All right. It's 12:30. You know what that means? We're a moment away from another Mickey Reed here on Mick Shots.
Is that what they're looking for?
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh. She's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
The season is finally here. For months, we've been gearing up to win. Now it's time for the team that performs on any field, United Ag and Turf. With John Deere zero turns for mowing, compact tractors for loading, mini excavators for digging, Gator utility vehicles for hauling, implements for grading, hay tools for baling. United Ag and Turf, for winning. the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com for more.
Back to Mick Shots.
Miller Lite is proud to bring you QBBQ Fest Dallas, located at Miller Lighthouse at AT&T Stadium. Join your Cowboys from November 4th through the 6th for some of the best barbecue in the country. Get your tickets today at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium.
All right, we continue our final segment of Mick Shots on this Wednesday. Everson, did you see the Devontae Adams story?
I saw it.
He was charged with a misdemeanor in municipal court in Kansas City today.
And, that could have been really handled differently, don't you think? First of all, I don't know why he did that. I don't know why he shoved him. And okay, you can always just apologize.
He did.
Make amends to the family. Yeah. I mean, I would have just, hey, man, y'all come to a game. I'm sorry. I would apologize in public. You know.
And he did apologize, and he sent
after the game.
Yeah, and in a tweet.
He stopped the press conference and started off with apologizing.
What was the guy then?
What was he doing?
Where was the guy?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't think he was there.
He was a photographer,
and so
he was not in the press conference, I don't think.
I think that it would have gone a long way to bring him into the press conference.
Well, he was
busy calling the police.
He was on it.
And I think he went to the hospital, too.
By the looks of it looked like the guy was like it was ESPN Monday Night Football. He was the guy that holds the C-stand for the Steadicam guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
He was.
And what happened, and it's gone viral, the video, you can
Did he hit the back of his head?
For yourself. It looked like what happened was Devontae's walking off the field to the tunnel, and he cut across in front of him, and Devontae pushed him, and he fell down on his backside.
So
fortunately, he didn't hit his head on the wall.
He did not hit his head or anything.
Yeah, it was in the middle, kind of in the end zone. Like, he was just setting up a civil lawsuit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Sort of like what happened at the Rangers, right? With Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, Kenny Rogers?
Yeah. Remember he pushed the cameraman down?
Same thing. They brought that up as well.
And made some money.
So anyway, that's one of the breaking news items of this
You want me to go
day.
look again, see what's going on out there, if the media is still watching practice?
Mickey is antsy to go on. You go look, and we're going to discuss the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, when you look at this Philadelphia Eagles team, what concerns you the most? Let's look at it from a Cowboys defensive standpoint.
That's good, because what concerns me the most on the entire squad, no matter where you look at it, how you look at it, that Philly offensive line is going to be the best offensive line that we've come up against so far. And these guys are not just good, they're veterans. You know, it's not like they're just a bunch of young guys they threw together. These guys are a good veteran team, good veteran coach. And so far, in the 5 games, even though you can look at Jalen Hurts' performances and say, well, it's gotten, I wouldn't say weaker, but it hadn't been as dynamic week after week. The running game is still good. His running game is still going well. And so that's what concerns me the most, is that Philly offensive line and them controlling the clock on us. And then you have flashbacks of San Francisco, the playoff game, to where we just couldn't get them off the field. I want to see us get them off the field so that crowd doesn't get into it as they drive the ball up and down the field on us.
Speaking of their offensive line, I just love watching Jason Kelsey play at center. And I just pulled up a stat here. Kelsey hasn't allowed a single quarterback sack, hit, or hurry in his last 262 snaps, has allowed one quarterback hit since 2020. That's 1,784 snaps.
You're believing that?
I don't know.
Hey, I'll tell you what. We're going to test that. We will test that today, this week.
Especially if he's injured.
That was my next question for you, Mickey. You need to get to the bottom of that.
We'll find out today when the injury report comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Landon Dickerson.
Starting guard, Landon Dickerson, out of the University of Alabama.
I
I noticed they're running. They're averaging 160 yards rushing a game.
And by the way, on Kelsey, he missed 3 snaps in the game on Sunday after limping off the field.
I was going to say
returned and played the rest of the game.
Yeah, he never leaves the game.
Yeah, well, after you sleep, that injury
it compounds.
Yes, it multiplies.
Yeah.
But their 160 yards rushing a game has a lot to do with Jalen Hurts pulling the ball down and running.
Of course.
So that's what you got to be worried about.
All right, let me throw
And by
this.
the way, the media was dismissed, so
you
there's
can't.
nothing going on out there.
I can go.
So
I
the
can
team
go
went
out
off the field?
They went off the field.
I was going to say, if they're on the field, I can go out there.
Nothing going on.
I'm not media yet.
Seeing, right?
I'm not media yet.
That's
I can come
right.
in here and just talk.
All right, from a Cowboys perspective, in our last few minutes here, what have the Cowboys accomplished so far this year?
They have stayed afloat.
I mean, look at the Cowboys' opponents so
the
far.
NFC East.
Yeah, look at the Cowboys' opponents and who they've beaten, and what have they done so far this year?
They've beaten some good teams.
Okay,
and
they lost to Tampa Bay,
right?
Now Cincinnati, we thought was a good team, right? How well?
I still think they're a good team, no doubt.
So we're going to give credit for that one.
Yes,
good
we
win.
will get credit. That was a good win.
Yep.
Yes. We are the reason that they're not as successful as they want to be.
Next up was the Giants. Okay,
got the same record.
Boy, they
Cowboys
sucked.
do.
Yeah, they sucked. They were horrible.
4-1.
Oh, of course they're going to beat the Giants. That's what everybody said. They should have beaten the Giants. Now, what can the Packers say about that?
Now, how about Washington?
I'll get a pass on that.
They were probably that was this was their opening game. Philadelphia's Detroit. They scored 38 points on Detroit. And the Cowboys against Washington beat them with a backup quarterback.
And we handled them.
25
we
points,
handled
right?
them. It wasn't just that we won. It's the way we won. We shut down a quarterback, although he has his decision problems in clutch parts of the game. This is still a quarterback that has more than once thrown for over 300 yards this season.
And
there is a common opponent there: the Cowboys and the Eagles. Cowboys beat Washington 25-10,
and they beat them 24-8. Right. And I don't know what you think of Jacksonville.
Wait. We'll get to the Eagles here in a second. Okay. And so then the Cowboys win at the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was a quality win. 22-10. Okay. All right. So now what have the Eagles done? They, as you mentioned, they opened the season against Detroit. They got way up on them, and Detroit came back and it made it a close game, 38-35. They beat Minnesota 24-7. Is that a good win?
It's a win.
It's a good win, like I said.
All right, let me rephrase it.
Minnesota's a good win. They're
let me
4-1.
rephrase it.
Minnesota's a good win.
If the Cowboys beat Minnesota 24-7, would we call it a good win?
Whoa, dude, we call that domination. Domination nation.
What's the Vikings' record?
4-1.
They're 4-1.
4-1. Same record.
And there's only 5 teams that are 4-1.
All right, so then they beat Washington 24-8, same thing the Cowboys did basically. Then they beat Jacksonville 29-21. Okay.
Very inconsistent team.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say about that.
Team.
I don't know what to say about that.
And then they go on the road and won at Arizona 20-17.
That was quality win. That was like our Rams win.
Okay, so
you would put the Rams in Arizona, where the Rams are right now with their injury situation.
Yes. And with Arizona, with their lack of productivity.
They scored 38 points against Detroit. Detroit right now is the 31st ranked defense. They scored 24 against Minnesota. Minnesota's the 24th ranked defense. They scored 24 against Washington. They're tied for 17th. They scored 29 against Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's defense right now is ranked 9th. And they scored 20 against Arizona. They're tied for 17th best defense.
And see, I'm not looking at just the defense in that. I'm looking at how they handled the other team's defense as well.
Right.
You know, they
offense.
Offense. I'm sorry, the way they handle their offense. You talking about 7 points from the Vikings? Is that what you said?
Okay, let me ask you this. All right, we've seen the 5 Cowboys opponents, the 5 Philly opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there's only one loss in those 10 games. Dallas losing to Tampa Bay. Of the teams, and I'm talking about the way these teams have played over 5 games, not whether they're the defending Super Bowl champs or AFC champs or whatever they might have, Which is the best team that either one of these teams has played against so far?
Giants.
For the Cowboys.
Huh?
For the Cowboys.
For both
Giants.
teams.
The Giants are playing the best.
I think Tampa Bay is the best team that Dallas has played so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like if you were okay,
I'm sorry.
I'm saying it from this standpoint.
I was looking at wins.
I'm saying from this standpoint, if you were playing Tampa Bay, okay, if which of the 5 opponents the Cowboys have faced
clearly
so far,
clearly it's
Tampa Bay would be the one.
Yeah, clearly it's Tampa. Yes.
And what's their record?
They're 3-2.
3-2.
Yeah.
And trending downward.
Well, I don't know if they are or not. Brady, the way he was throwing the ball the other day, I mean,
that won't last.
Well, but I'm saying where he is right now, and they got the receivers back. They've had to go through some stuff.
As long as he knows he's not going to get hit.
And Tampa's 2 losses are Green Bay and Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Green Bay 14-12, and they didn't have any of their receivers. Cole Beasley was playing for him.
Mm-hmm.
True.
No longer. He retired.
Right.
He retired.
Right. But in that game, he was playing for him.
Half of the game.
Right.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Right. That's what I mean. They didn't have any weapons.
Right.
And so, which I think means that, I mean, as much as people are talking about the Eagles having the best team in the league, everyone's so impressed with the Eagles. When you look at what the Cowboys have done versus what the Eagles have done the first 5 games, there's not a lot of difference there.
Not a lot at all.
And
we talked
with a backup quarterback.
And we talked earlier. We talked earlier about the 2-score games. I know I brought that up. You're still looking at comparably Eagles and Cowboys. Those games that they won. If it wasn't for the defense, they could have been a dicier game.
Both teams.
Yes, both teams. If it wasn't for that defense, it could be a dicier game.
And the reason Tampa Bay would be the toughest opponent the Cowboys have faced so far is because of their defense.
Of course, yes.
And the reason Dallas is the toughest opponent that Philadelphia has played so far is because of Dallas's defense.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
And if you look at it,
and so you see what happened when Dallas, with their starting quarterback, went up against the best defense that they faced so far. They lost 19-3.
Right.
And so now Philadelphia is going up against the best defense. And let's see how they fare.
I would love to see that. And this is going to be a battle of defense. There's no doubt about it. Both teams are going to come out so conservative. I don't care how well they feel at home court advantage. They're going to come out and try to dominate. This game is going to say who's going to not lose, right?
So
they're going to play not to lose.
Maybe one of the big questions is the Philly defense better than the Tampa defense?
Well, Philly,
I would say, is the Philly defense better than the Cowboys defense?
Yeah,
that's
for
just
this
the way
game.
for this game.
Right.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, and a lot of what they did offensively was set up by their defense. They've got 11 takeaways already. The Cowboys have 7.
So you know what we have to not do
is turn the ball over.
Which is the way we've been playing the entire time.
Right.
And that's going to lead us to a very conservative game plan approach.
And while
you're thinking maybe a 5-0 win?
It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. And that would if it's ugly, it's going to be in our favor. That's what I think, because Philly's going to want to score more points.
Yeah,
they're going to go off the point.
They're going to get the ball down the field.
They want to try and get it down the field, but I don't think they're going to be able to.
Well, think about this: they're the number 2 ranked offense yards, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in 3 of the 5 games, they've scored no more than 24 points. So the yards and the points haven't really matched up, except for the 38 against Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some input from a loyal listener who says, well, as we close out this show, let me find it here.
Philly is a more complete TEA. He's
team, all caps.
All
team.
caps and exclamation.
And talking about Jason Kelsey, he is a bad man. Jason Kelsey, remind me of Stepnoski.
Yeah, that sounds like an offensive lineman.
Yeah. Thank you, Nate in Frisco, for contributing to the show.
Nate
all right.
in Frisco.
We will shout at you again tomorrow on another edition of Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.